Fine. So before we begin, right, I just want to understand your level, like whether so. Have you ever been working in data warehousing? Do you have any knowledge on data warehousing, or you are jumping into from some other background? I know Aladdin is coming from other background. So are you all aware of data warehousing concept and all?
This is new for me. I'm just trying to learn more about this.
Okay. Okay. This tool is again, tool is just for giving you the visualization as we have many tools, okay, in the market, but tool is for visualization. But the purpose of this tool, right? Why do we learn this tool? The purpose is to use our data, right? To use the data for a purpose, right? To grow a business, to make some decision, right? So that's well, like, okay, I understand, like you are coming from other background, so you don't have understanding on the data warehousing. So do you have any knowledge on SQL and other such things? So, any knowledge on SQL?
Yes, yes, I do.
So okay, fine, great. Okay, then see, using Microsoft Power BI is easy. We don't have to struggle, but some of the concept will be needing some skills. Okay, some of the advanced concept, like also some of the advanced DAXs. DAX will also need some skills or some knowledge on understanding it. Otherwise, just learning, just knowing some tool like Excel is enough, for using Power BI. And you don't need to code here. So all the codes, whatever will be there, like M language or DAX, everything will be simple. Only thing required is the understanding, okay, proper understanding, and those will be, if you are already working in SQL, if you have knowledge, right? So those concepts will be also clear to you. Let's see. Let's begin what we are going to see, right? In tools, what we are going to see, concept-wise, what we are going to see, and what is our ultimate goal, okay, of this course. So we will be seeing all these things. Fine. Yeah. So before moving ahead, do you have any question? Like, are you all working? Are you working for some project, some domain?
No,
No. Okay.
no.
Fine. Yeah. Okay. Fine. No problem. Then what we are going to do, here we will be using the data set. Okay. That data set is called Adventure Works data set. Fine, in this project. And Adventure Works is a manufacturing company. Okay. This is not a real company, right? This is simple database created by Microsoft, and this database is a real kind of data. Okay, it is not just the simple data. You will see that whatever we do in a company, in manufacturing company, whatever work is being done, right? all those are all those kind of scenario is created, and data is populated, like using that. Okay, all the scenarios. So it's Microsoft, so like Microsoft will always have proper things. Okay, it's all proper data. So whatever we have here, all proper data. So account creation, calendar table, call center, we have our customer information. So geography, sales. So everything will be there. All the informations will be there, right? And we'll be using the this real scenario for manufacturing company. This is a manufacturing company, so you can have if you know any manufacturing company, right? So you can take the analogy to apply your knowledge on those companies' data. You can even get your own data if you have, if you know some company and you want to appear for interview for those companies. So you just understand they are working and all those what they work on and what kind of data they will have. So if it is manufacturing, data will be like this only. Okay, all the data will be like this. So you can create your own imaginary scenario there. Okay, and you can start working on that like we do in our sessions here. Fine. Okay. Then in tool, what we are going to see is we are going to first we'll start with the fundamentals, as we said, like from scratch, everything, each and every options we are going to see in the tool. So let me open Power BI. Okay, so this is a tool we are going to use, right? And we are going to see all of these options, whatever options we have, all of these options, each and every options in the tool. And apart from this, all the various options, these various visualization, all these visualizations, okay. And apart from these, all the techniques, okay, for visualizing, for creating dashboard, right? So each and every option will be seeing here in this tool, all the capabilities we have in Power BI tool. We'll be seeing all of these, right? And after that, we'll be also seeing uh, Power BI service, how we can publish data. So let's see. So Power BI fundamentals, right? What is Power BI, right? And what we do in Power BI. So Power BI is a tool, right? Power BI is a tool for visualization, doing business intelligence activities. So what do we have in business intelligence? Do you understand why? What is business intelligence? We extract intelligence from our data, right? Intelligence in the sense here, we get some sense, some understanding of data, some information, useful things, right? Useful data we extract from our data, raw data, and with that data we can make some decision to grow our business, right? To make some decision. So there we get the intelligence from our data. So that's where business intelligence tool, right, is. So fundamentals of Power BI, this will be used, Power BI will be used for intelligence, right? And we can see here the interface. Now, let's see why do we want to do visualization? Do you have any idea? Why do we do visualization and what is visualization? So we say, like we always say that Power BI is a good visualization tool. Okay, Tableau is a good visualization tool. Okay, so what visualization we do and why we do visualization? Any idea? So it is here even. So visualization is nothing but we represent our data, right? We represent our data in graphics, in visual representation. Okay, so in data visualization, here in case of data visualization, if we say Power BI is a visualization tool, data visualization tool, a business intelligence tool. So when we say it is a visualization tool, that means we are using our data, okay, in graphic form or visual form, and we get some insight from that, right? So representing our data in graphical or visual form is visualization, right? And we have so many tools for visualizing our data, so many charts, right? So many visuals. So we'll see all of that. And why do we have our data in Excel format, we have our data in tables, we have data in flat files, right? We have data so many in so many places, web, right? So already we have our data everywhere. Okay, we have so many pages, right? So why do we need this visualization tool to again check our data, to represent our data in using this tool, right? So we have in our database, we have, TBs or, PBs, petabytes. So terabytes, petabytes of data we have in our tables, right? And and analyzing that data, getting some insights, getting some useful information, useful data from that raw data is tough using SQL or using some other, uh, some other tools, some other just normal tools, right? So we need to have some tool, powerful tool, which can bring, insight, which can get insight quickly, and which can process data, huge data, which can process and which can represent our data properly so that we can get some uh, insight, right? Some insight or some patterns, some trends, right? Or these kind of, to identify patterns, trends, outliers, right? So all of to do this, right? To classify and all those things, machine learning, we have machine learning activities. So for that, we are also uh, checking the this balancing of classes. So many things we are checking. Okay, we want to visualize to get the insight, to get the information, correct information from our data, right? So for those, visualization is very much helpful, graphical representation is very much helpful. Just checking the data in Excel format, just taking the data from tables using Excel, normal Excel tools, normal SQL tools and all, right, is not going to help much. So we need some visualization. Ultimate goal is, what is our ultimate goal using this visualization tool? Not just representing the data. Ultimate goal is not to represent the data, but to, get some insight, some useful, some patterns, some trends, right? To get some insight and to get some useful information which we can use for decision, for making decision, right? So using seeing our data, we can make some decision, data driven decision, right? So that is our ultimate goal. So that's where here in Power BI, right? That's where it is giving us the capability, it is giving us the power to spend less time in designing, in creating our visualization, and more time, we are getting more time here to check, to analyze our data, to check our data whether we have got the correct data, correct pattern, correct trends, information, whether whatever out of the information, out of the raw data. So we get more time on analysis, we get more time on doing analytics rather than creating the visuals and all those things here, because that's how it is making everything easy for spending less time in creating those things, fine, and more time on doing analytics, right? uh, and here you can see this data visualization is the use of visual representation to explore, make sense of and communicate data. And what we do at last, we we communicate our data to our stakeholders, right? So that data should we are exploring, we are so that it makes sense. The data should make sense, right? And then when we get our data, that data we communicate to our stakeholders, to our businesses, right? So all these things, and here first thing is we get some idea. Okay, we get first thing is to start our project, to start the visualizations, right? When you start your project, first you may be working on, you may be having your own business, you may be working for some business, and you are seeing something. Okay, you may be seeing some losses. Okay, or you may be seeing some opportunities, right? You may be seeing some opportunities in some region, and you want to analyze their usage pattern there. Maybe you have manufacturing company and you see that there is a trend of buying buying some cycles here. In this case, in case of adventure works company, yeah, here we are buying the cycles, we are buying the we are selling manufacturing the motorcycles, bikes, and also manufacturing the accessories of the bikes and for riders, right? So you are seeing some opportunity in some area, so you started analyzing that. Maybe you started analyzing, okay, what we can do to increase our sale in some area. So first thing is you are getting some idea. Okay, you have to get some idea, you have to start thinking on that. Then you have to get your data, and you are doing the visualization. You get your data, supporting data, then you are doing the visualization to check, to find some trends. Okay, to find some you know some information, some more information. Then you are just giving, okay, your solution. Okay, that what we should do, seeing this data, and you should communicate, you should inspire the, you should present that data to the stakeholder. Okay, we should invest this much, and we can grow our business in this area. And the supporting all the document, all the information, all the data, supporting data, you should provide to them. And that can be, that you can achieve through data visualization. Okay, so all this analysis part and everything you can do through data analysis, through data visualization. So do you have any question till now? Okay,
None for me.
fine. Now in Power BI tool, right? What so our ultimate goal using Power BI is to visualize our data. Okay, okay. This is our ultimate goal: visualizing and analyzing our data, and all of these will support us to do, to create visualizations, to do analysis, right? And all of these. So ultimate final goal is to create these, analysis, analyzing the data or visualizing the data. This is our final goal. Fine. And so for this, we have all of these things only for this analysis and visualization, right? Now what we have in Power BI, we have Power BI desktop, where we will be creating our visualization, where we will be creating our report, right? Then how we will create this? Using the power using Power BI desktop tool, we can ultimately we are going to create these visualization charts. Okay, that is, here you can see we have this visualization, right? And we are going to create this visualization. Ultimately we are going to create any visualization here. So for this, what are the supporting things? We need some data to create visualization. What is required? We need some data. Fine. and that data has to be transformed, because we will not get the data in the exact format whatever we need, right? We may have to transfer, we may have to make some transformations on the data. So the data we are going to use for visualization will be transformed, okay, and transformation will be done in Power Query Editor. We say here in Power BI, we have a tool called Power Query Editor, and here you can see transform data. Just click here, you can see use the Power Query Editor to connect, right? Prepare and transform the data. So you can just here you can do the transformations. This is a tool again inside Power BI desktop, okay. This tool is the heart, you can say, and here you have the capability to clean your data, whatever raw data you will have, right? And ultimate goal is to create the report. So for creating the report, you have to first prepare your data, and that preparation of data can be done in Power Query Editor. Fine. And if you are working on a data warehousing environment, that this cleaning and aggregation and all these activities also happen in the data warehousing part also, right? When you do ETL processes, right? Through ETL process, you prepare your data for visualization for reporting. So ultimate goal also in data warehousing, also the ultimate goal is to analyze the data analysis, to do the analysis and all. So for that, all the data is getting prepared and integrated at a single place in data warehousing, right? So same thing here. And this is one of the tool in for data warehousing where we do the ultimate work for analyzing analytics of data. Okay, data analytics. We perform the data analytics using this Power BI tool or any visualization or any BI tool, business intelligence tool, right? So what I was telling, that we need to for visualizing, we have to transform the data, and that can be done using Power Query Editor. We have to also, we'll be getting data from different sources, right? Many sources. So that has to be integrated. For that, we have to create a model, right? Like in SQL, we have the joins, SQL joins. Here also we need to create SQL joins, and here also we need to create the joins between different tables. Okay, so we have to integrate the data at one place, and that data can be used in creating the visualization and analysis. Okay, to analyze the data. Fine. So these are the things, these are the tools we have to perform the ultimate activities, whatever in Power BI desktop. Okay. And then after that, once the Power BI desktop active, all those report is created and everything is done, right? So we have to share with the we have to share with our stakeholders, okay, customers, this report. They should have access to analyze, to check the data, right? So that they can make some decision. So for that, we have to go to Power BI service. We have to publish this report, whatever report we are creating here, that has to be moved to Power BI service. Okay, there we can share and collaborate, right? So what is Power BI service? Power BI service is again the cloud, okay, where you can have your Power BI, right? And this is so so interesting, okay, so powerful, Power BI services and all these things, right? And in Microsoft, all the Microsoft tools have integrated this Power BI, and you can connect to Power BI from any places. Okay. Let's Okay, just a second. Fine. Okay, we'll see this thing. Okay, later. Power BI service we'll see later. And fine. You are able to see my screen, right? Is visible to you? Please
We
confirm.
can see, it just says TechNest ahead. That's it. That's all I see.
You just see the TechNest Academy.
Yes.
Or till now you have not seen any. You are not able to see my PowerPoint.
I was
Yes.
able to see just now, just this few
Okay.
about a minute ago. Yeah. That's the only thing I
Now,
can see.
now you are able to see my right screen.
No, I still can't see anything.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it's up now. I can see your screen.
Okay. Fine. Okay. So, what we were saying that we can, after we have built, after we have created the visualization, the report, we have to share with our stakeholders, right? And that's where we'll have the Power BI cloud services. Okay. And through Power BI cloud services, we'll see also the licensing things, licensing activities, like what are the different license we have, and how in Power BI cloud service, what we can do, what are the different capabilities we have in Power BI. And through Power BI cloud service, we can share and collaborate, right, with others, with the users, with the peers, right? And also Power BI mobile, how we can create our report mobile, using the mobile devices, right? On how we can fit our report in mobile devices. So all these things will be seeing during our session, entire sessions. Okay. And all of these thing will be around 24 to 30 sessions it will take uh, to complete all of these activities. Fine. So now, as you know that we have three part in in this ecosystem, Power BI ecosystem, right? We have these three different things. We have Power BI desktop. Desktop is a tool, right? Where this is a tool, OS based tool, right? Windows based tool. And here we have Power BI cloud services. This is the cloud where we want to share. And in cloud itself, we have this Power BI mobile. Okay. So we will be creating, or even in desktop, we have the Power BI mobile. Okay. And we can create the report, whatever report we create here in the desktop, we can make it to mobile. Right? So now, to do all of those, to create all of those reporting, fine. So what are the different things we have in the interface? What is the interface in Power BI desktop, right? So here, now you should be clear, like what is the overall picture in terms of the tools, what do we have. So in case, right, in the interface, what are all the things we have here? We have these three views: reporting view, then data view, and model view. Okay. What are these things? In reporting view, we are going to create our report. So very first thing, what we are going to do is to get our data, then we will start looking at all of these things. Fine. So how we can get our data? We can get the data from this, going to home ribbon. Here you have the get data option. Fine. You have also different connections. You can get the data from different connections, and here you can connect to even, so many sources. You are seeing here, we can get data literally from any place. We can get data from files, okay? We can get data from SharePoint, we can get data from XML, we can get data from folders. So all of these things, all of these can be, source of Power BI, Power BI report, all of these, Excel and all these things, these are files. So we can get data from files. We can get data from SQL, from the databases. So SQL Server database, Access database, so all of these databases, right? We can get data, we can get data to create our report using all of these databases. Okay, if you're already working on some of the databases, you can get your data from there also. Or you have installed in your local some any database, you can get your data from there also. So what we are going to do, we have our data in the file, so we'll be using file data. Okay, we are going to use the files for creating our report. And the options of getting data, whether it is file, whether it is database, okay. So options of having data, like data can be imported in Power BI, or data can be used as direct query, means you can connect to database directly and get data from there directly. Okay, you can get the data directly from the databases and work on that data to create your report. Okay, without importing, you can do that also. And the better option is to import, which will use the in-memory concept. Okay, data will be in your memory itself, and the data access for reporting will be faster, and you can get your you can get better performance in the report, right? While it is in memory tool, in memory data will be in memory, right? So all of those, right, we can see, we'll see one by one. So here we'll get our data from using files, and also we'll see how we can connect to SQL Server database. Fine. And you can also try, if you have other database, you can also try to connect, create connections with other databases. Okay. Now, we have these tools, Power Platform tools. Okay, we can connect to these tools also. These are again Microsoft tools. Fine. All of these are Microsoft tools, are very interesting tools. So we are not going to look at these. And we have Azure, all the Azure tools we can connect to. Then online services, okay, SharePoint, then Exchange, Microsoft Exchange online. So your company may have, you are working for some company, and you are every day you are chatting with your friends, or you are sending mails to your client and all those things, right? So your company has the capability to analyze all of your data. Okay, what my employees are doing, and what they are talking about the company, or what they are doing with the client, right? All of those analysis they do, and they do like this. Okay, they are using the Outlook data, they are using your mail data, and using for their analysis. Okay, for customer, for employee attrition and all those things, to analyze all of those things, they will be using these tools also. Okay, and also you have many other tools. Okay, Salesforce and all those things. You have websites, GitHubs, LinkedIn, right? What employees are talking in with LinkedIn. So all of those for analyzing all of this data, right? You have all the power to connect, and so to connect, or to again some secure site, you need to have access to all those sites, then you can connect to again to Power BI. So this needs some again advanced knowledge on connecting, right? So yeah, what we are so but you have the capability to connect to all the online services also to analyze the data. Okay, so all of these you have available, and other than that, you have these Hadoop and ODBC, R, Python. You will see Python. Okay, connecting Python and working on data. You can connect to websites and all those things, and you can get data to analyze. Okay? You have so many. Now you can understand that you have so many options for getting data from, right? All of these options we have where from where you can get your data. What we have our data in text format, CSV format, just to get our data. And this is the first ever file we are going to import. Fine. We are going to import one of the data called sales raw data, and we'll see. So this is the data set we are going to we are going to import. And looking at this data, I just want you to, I have just loaded this data, fine. And what we want to do is, okay, what ultimately we want to do is, you can see this data, right? And we want to analyze this data. We want to analyze this data in report here. Now you can see the that was done in Power Query Editor when we imported the data, right? And it was giving us the option to load, either to load or to transform. I will see it again. Once we select transform, then it will go to Power Query Editor. So we had gone to Power Query Editor and we want to analyze this data. So can we to analyze this data, we have to use this visualization tool, this report view, and then we have this data view, and we have this model view, right? We have many sources, so we need to create our model. We have this, data view where you can see our data. So this is the data we have, right? Raw data. This is the data set we have, and using you can check your data whether everything is fine with your data, and you can use that data for analysis, for reporting, right? So now you tell me, do you see this data? Can we use this data for reporting, for visualization? So when we say that we are going to analyze this data, okay, we have this data for sales. Okay, and you can see that this data has product information. So selling a product, right? And sales will be there, number of sales, how many quantities are sold, and the dates, on which date it was sold, and we have some amount information. So can you tell me that whether this data is suitable for doing the visualization? Any idea?
I'm thinking it's some transformation. We still need to clean the data.
Yes. So here you can see, right, the names, column names, right? Here we don't have the names, proper names, right? But in our data set, we have the column names, and for that reason, see here, for that reason, we have to do, and only not in this case, we may have many other cases, many other scenarios, okay, where we need transformations. Fine. So for that, to visualize and analyze, the most important part in this tool is to transform the data, and we are going to see the transform, and we have the many various options in the transformations, right? We can transform the data in many different ways. So here you can see, once we have inserted our data, there is an steps applied steps created. Here it is called source step. So this steps gives us the data from where the source data, raw data from the source. Okay, this is the, and we can also change the source information. If we have got a wrong data, you can also change. You can go to this step, and here this gear icon. You can just click here, and you can change the informations. Okay, you can change the path information and all those things. Now, the you know fine. So what we are going to see here is the Power Query editor. So we have seen that we have three views here: report view, data model, and we can get our data. Then next thing is we are going to use the Power Query editor to transform our data. Okay, and that for a Power Query editor, we'll just see that. So before we use the Power Query editor, what we are going to see, the other thing is the environment settings. We have our file, fine. We have this file, and we are working from different regions, fine. So you have your computer, your desktop is in different local. I am in different local, right? So all of our computers will get the local based on our computer settings, right? So what we have now, I'm sitting in India local. You are sitting in some other local, right? You may be from US, maybe from Canada, right? So you have different local there. So what locals do, it gives different formatting of data and different date format. So different options are available. For that, we have to do the settings, okay, in the file, so that we are all in sync. Fine. So for the settings, we have two kind of setting. Okay, let's see. Here going to the file option. Here you have the options and settings options, and go to the options. Here you will see the settings, different settings option. Fine. So what we are going to do is, first thing we are going to do is the detection type, data load information. Okay. So we are not going to use the auto detected column types. Okay, that's why we are just giving the never detect column types. Fine. And you can detect column types and headers for unstructured source. Okay, you can even detect those things. So we are going to give the never detect column types. Okay, and also preview of background data. Okay, you can set all of these options, and here we have other option called time intelligence. We are not going to touch any of these things. Fine. The next, important options we are going to see here, the data load options here also. We are not going to use the relationship from the data source. So you have to uncheck, because we want to create our relationship ourselves. Here you have the auto detect new relationship. After data is loaded, we don't want to do that. We don't want to create the auto detection. We don't want to do the auto detection of relationship. Okay, so we are going to create all the relationship ourselves, right? So I'm just unchecking that, and you can also do that. This will help in learning. Okay, and next thing is the regional settings. Fine, and this is important. You have to set the language, whether and local. Okay, you can set your country local, but what we are going to do, we are going to set the common local called in United States English. Okay. So all of us, we are going to just set the local to United States English, and same for the regional setting in the current file. So we have two different options, right? Global file setting and current file setting. So current file setting, global file setting is available to all the sheets, okay? All the files, whatever files we get, right? To all the files, that setting will be applied. And here in the current file, so whatever current file is there, right? This file, so only in this file we have these settings available, okay? So this also regional settings for current file, we are going to set the English United States. So everywhere we are just having regional settings, we are having United States setting. Fine. And yeah, so that will just set the environment for us, and we can see the other settings later. Fine, but regional settings and all these things which will impact the data types, which will impact the date type, which will impact the data formats, right? Those we have just set, and we can save it. This file we can save it inside, right? This class one, fine, and basic data cleaning. So we have just, created the file, and we will be using we'll be using this file and these same settings, for the entire session. So similar settings, you can try the different local and check the differences in dates and all these things. We may also check, okay. Let's now, what we are going to see is first and foremost thing is the transform our data. Once we have our data, right, the first thing we are going to do is to transform our data. Okay. So now tell me that what is wrong in this data? What we need to transform? Do
So
you
the
see any?
first
Hmm.
the first column, it has A and B, so and we have number inside. I'm thinking that needs to be changed to both letters and numbers.
Hmm. Yeah. So this is one of the scenario we have created, right? Here in this data set, you have so many issues. Okay, so many issues, and those all of those issues we have to create, and that's where we have the capability of Power BI to clean all of this, such messy data also. Okay, here you can see the first two rows. We have the heading starting from the third row, right? This is the header at the third row, right? And the first two rows are junk rows. This is not a correct data. We have to remove that data first, right? That is one option. That is one thing. Other thing is we are having so many blank information, okay, blank data. We may have this is order ID, unique order ID, and we have some junk data which is not correct. So many things are there. We'll see each and everything one by one. Okay. So very first thing is we want to get our column names correct. We want to get our column names correct. So here you can see we have the option called use first row as headers. So if I do first row as headers, right? So what will happen? I don't get a correct column name, right? Here you can see, and you can also see here that there is one steps created. So we'll just talk about this later, and I'm just deleting this step and this data. So to get this data, we have to remove this first. So we are going to see the options tools to remove rows, to remove columns. Okay. So here we have the, under this home ribbon, we have these tools to remove rows or keeping rows, right? We want to keep some rows and remove other rows. We want to remove rows, right? And remove columns. So we have these options. Here for remove rows, here in this case, we want to remove rows, first two row, right? We want to first remove two rows. So remove top rows. We want to remove the top rows, fine. So we can remove top rows and we have these options, various options to remove the rows. Remove bottom rows, remove alternate rows, remove duplicates, right? We will be seeing all of these again one by one. So remove top rows. So two rows, top two rows we want to remove. So these are, and this easily, it is so easily it is done, right? So top rows are removed. Then the second step, second thing we have to do is we have to use this as the header. So use, here you can see the option called use first row as header under this home ribbon itself. And you can, once you have your first row in this data set as a header, so you can use that as a header. Just click it here and this is done, right? And this is so easy. Now we are, till now, do you have any question? Till now, whatever we have seen, do you have any question on this tool?
No.
Okay.
No.
Fine. Great. So now what we are going to see is we are going to do the cleaning, right? Cleaning of data. We want to remove, we want to pre-process our data before we do the visualization, right? Before we do the visualization, we want to pre-process our data. So the next thing is what we see is this is order ID is unique, okay, and this is also used as the primary key, okay, in this data set. So you should always understand that primary key will always be unique and not null. It cannot be, it cannot be null, okay. Primary key cannot be null. So it should be always null, it should be always unique, and it should be always not null, and it should have valid data, right? So in that case, what we have to do, we have to also remove the null values, right? These are null values, these are some empty records, fine. We don't need these in case of this data. This is, and you have to, before you start analyzing your data, you have to understand all of the data first, okay? What are the columns you have, what are the informations you have, right? All of the data, different, what are the tables you have, and which table will help you in what kind of visualization. So all of these requirement you have to gather before you start your visualization, fine. And also you have to gather the information on the columns, different columns of your data set, right? So these, all of these things you will do before you start your project in Power BI, fine. And that will be done after a lot of brainstorming, after a lot of discussion with your customer, right? So now you will always be knowing your data, the different columns, what are the columns you have, and which column is for which purpose, what purpose, right? Which column holds what kind of data. So these all of these things you will know before, fine. Now, once we have this data set, right? Once we have this data set, what we are going to do is we are going to clean further. We are going to do more operations. So very first thing you can see here, uh, the quality of data, okay? And how do we know the quality of data? See here, we have a tool called view, and even without that tool, you will be able to see here direct with this color coding, okay? This color means, black color means this is empty. Here you can see if I hover over my mouse on that ribbon, right? You can see that this is 995 rows are empty, 99% of the rows are empty. Okay, only we have 5% valid rows, 5 valid row, and that too 5 valid data in that column, and 1% less than 1% data is valid, right? So it is giving me the quality of my data, quality of my different columns, right? And that can be also checked using this quality tool, column quality tool, right? You can enable this tool under this view. You have the column quality tool. You can just enable this tool and you can see what is the quality of your data, right? And based on that, you have to also understand what kind of action I have to take on that data. So now I see here 99% empty. I just want to see my data, what is there. So I can see that in my data set, I just have the blank NA and null. So this is some kind of column which is not having any value in my data set. I have to get rid of this data, right? So what I have to do, I have to remove this column. So for removing the column, right, you have a tool called remove columns. Here under the home ribbon, right, you have the tool called remove column. So here you can remove columns, remove other columns. If you have selected this and you want to remove all other columns, you can remove other columns. And if you want to just select, if you want to remove the selected columns only, so you can just remove the selected columns like this. So this is removed. Fine. This is now done. And you have, other than that, you have this option. If you have the blank row, all of the data in the set is blank. Okay, entire row is blank, right? Entire row is blank. Then what kind of information you have, that you need to remove the, or if entire row is blank, you have to remove that data. You have to remove that row, right? So you have a tool called, here in this case, you have a tool remove blank rows, right? So that will remove all the blank row, that row which is having which is not having any data in any of the field. Fine. So that row will be removed. So remove blank rows, that is done, right? Still we have some empty data here. You can see empty data we have less than 1%. And in this case here, we don't have any empty data now. And you can see the quality of the data. And similarly, you can see the other, the quality of the other data, right? And that's how we are just starting our cleaning activities. Okay, basic cleaning of the data, what we can do more on this data. So yeah, so next thing, we are already 8:05. So what we are going to do is we are going to continue with the same cleaning activities from next session, and we will see each and every capability of this tool to analyze our data. Fine. Do you have any question till now?
No.
Any? Okay. Fine. So what we have, we will just wrap up our session here, and for this we are just going to save our data, and this data will be saved. This file will be saved here. We can save this file using the save as option, and there are two different options for saving. One is PBIX file. This will save the file with along with the data we have imported, right? And we have another option called Power BI template files, that will not save the data, that will only save the reporting structure. Okay, so we are going to save our file with Power BI with the data. Okay, and I'll be sharing the data set, what we are going to use, and whatever we have, right? Whatever data set we are going to use in our class, I will be sharing all of those, and also the videos will be shared, the recordings will be shared with you daily. Okay, so you can check this recording and also the files we are going to share. So you can do your hands-on on those data. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So please, share your IDs, share your email ID, Gmail ID. Okay. In the group chat, and we will add you in the common groups. Fine. For sharing the data set and all these things. Yeah. So that's what we have for today's session. Do you have any feedback on the session? I should go slow, or I should, you know, any feedback, any kind of feedback?
So far, so good. I look good. I can understand.
Okay,
Okay.
fine. Okay. Then, yeah, that's all I have for today's session. We'll continue this session from tomorrow. So tomorrow again, we have this session. So we have classes on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So these 4 days a week. Okay. Yeah. Then that's it. Thank you for joining, and we'll meet tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.